Hey, everyone out there in podcast world. Welcome back to this very special edition of the Service Business Mastery podcast. We are going to be sharing a live demo of a software platform that is getting quite a bit of buzz in the online social media circles, and that is called Sera. The founder and CEO is Billy Stevens, who we just recently had on the show to talk about growing your service business and maintaining a net profit above 20%, which he did this 10 plus years ago before when everything was still pen and paper, if you can believe those days existed at some point. So um,
There's
the
some
whole
people
purpose,
who still live in that world.
yeah, there's a lot actually.
This is going to be perfect for
So
you. If you're still living that world. And I actually had a conversation the other day with someone who actually was is still living in that world. And I was like, you really got to check out this platform. So
yeah, and this is so House Call Pro, Service Titan, and this isn't, we're not really going to talk about them much, but those have been the two dominating programs in the software world, and there really hasn't been anything else. So you had one or the other, and they each have their pros and cons, and this brings almost a totally new dynamic to the marketplace, which I think you guys are really going to like. So do your best. So for questions, just so everyone's aware, for questions, we're going to try to keep it on topic for what Billy's talking about. We will go back through questions at the end, so that way we can get through the presentation and everybody's questions can get answered. We'll put some information up on the screen and in the show notes about how you guys can get in touch with Sera and schedule your own personalized demo. But with that, let's get started.
Are you looking for valuable business advice to reach that 7-figure revenue mark? Do you want actionable tips to properly navigate through every business challenge you encounter along the way? Let Tersh Blissett and Josh Crouch be your guide in getting you to the top here at Service Business Mastery. Tune in as they sit down with world-renowned authors in business, leadership, and personal growth who share valuable insights about management, marketing, pricing, human resources, and so much more. Let their nuggets of wisdom gold guide you in owning a thriving, profitable, and ever-growing business. Here are your hosts, Tersh and Josh.
hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show, Billy.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, 100%. It's an honor. It was really an honor to hang out with you guys out in Vegas, and I met your lovely wife, and she was able to meet and hang out with mine, and she had amazing feedback. Sorry, I'm out of breath. As soon as that intro went, I took off because I forgot my drink on the counter, and then I came sliding back in right as it finished. So, yeah, welcome to the show, Billy.
Thank you. Looking forward to it. We're going to have a great time today.
100%.
Yeah. So, and Billy even went and grabbed a ball cap so we could all fit in. So,
Yeah.
but Billy's actually
Billy had the backwards cap going here, you know.
I like it.
Billy's actually got a head of hair, unlike the rest of us.
Barely.
So, Billy, I don't know if you want to do and I know we did a lot of this on the previous episode that we did, like a quick synopsis of your history with the industry, just so people can kind of understand where this all fits into where you've been the last 15, 20 years.
Sure. So I got in the industry back in 96. I was building houses and my plumber passed away, and I needed a plumber, couldn't find another plumber. So I went and talked to the owner, the wife, the widow. And about 2 to 3 months later, I ended up owning this new construction plumbing company. And coming from the new construction industry, I realized real quick that I didn't want to be on the receiving end as a plumbing company. So we sold off the new construction side of the business and started basically with the truck and started building our service business here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Over the
Hey,
course
Billy,
of
can I introduce?
Sure.
I'm sorry, but I have a friend of mine. I have two friends of mine who are getting out of new construction into service. How was that transition there?
Man, it's a breath of fresh air. I had people on the payroll that their only job was to collect money. And
Oh,
I mean, that's really so that we could make payroll, right? Because we
yeah.
were always fighting this large accounts receivables, and of course, which created a large accounts payable.
Yep.
And so, but I noticed the one truck that we had going out running service calls was bringing a check or cash every day. And I'm like, well, what if I just multiply that and
Nothing beats
get
that.
paid? Yeah, get paid every day. And so
Mhm.
the transition is how do you get out of the new construction company and get the money that you're owed, and make a clean break.
Yeah.
And basically, the only way you're going to get the money that owed is hopefully you have, really good builders that understand and they will pay you. Otherwise, you just lien all those properties or attempt to lien those properties and talk to that owner,
Uh-huh.
talk to that builder and go, look, I'm gonna lien these properties if you don't pay me,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll get paid because those liens go to the homeowners and they're going to go and call the builder and it's going to be a mess for him. So
Yeah.
that's basically what we did is we had to threaten to lien properties, and by doing that we were paid immediately, and then we
Was
got
it
out of the
was
business.
that all residential new construction?
It was.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we made that move back in 96. I mean, 97, I did it for 1 year and then made that move and got out of it, was able to keep the name of the company and started a whole new company at that point. So basically
Okay.
started at zero, basically.
Yeah, that's pretty
And
much what we did in 2020 with our service
Mhm.
company, and we rebranded, changed up a whole bunch, included releasing all of the employees or majority of the employees to new opportunities. So, yeah, it was a fresh start.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, I feel like it would have been easier if I had just started off fresh versus starting off with what I had. So,
Yeah. I think it's a very refreshing way to to get out of that and start something that actually, pays you every day and allows you to build a business because you actually have money now. You just build your business off the backs of those checks that you get every day.
yeah. So tell us a little bit about Sarah and why Sarah, and kind of how you exited out of the service industry as far as
Yeah.
well, you're back in it again, but how you originally
Right.
exited.
Right. So
Once you're
yeah,
in, once you're in, you can't get out.
we got our hooks in you.
it's true. So I was fortunate to do an exit back in 2011. Well, I wasn't exactly an exit in 2011. I was basically partnered with a PE firm and sold them a majority position, and then we started, buying other businesses. And this kind of was the epicenter of this whole thing that's going on now. The guy that approached me about doing this saw his vision of what this could be. I don't think he even realized it would be this big now.
Uh-huh.
And that company's gone on to to be very large, and really has been the beginning of this whole new era of being able to sell a company for a decent amount of money.
Yeah.
Because back in 2011, your only choice was to sell it to a competitor, give it to your kids, or just close it down. That was
Yeah.
your choice. And so it took a lot of guts from my side of it, because we didn't have a plan. We just thought we could buy some businesses and grow it some, and then maybe flip it into another deal.
Mm-hmm.
But we weren't sure. I mean, this has never been done in our space before. But we were very fortunate, and we were able to acquire, a really good company down in Houston. And then that doubled our business overnight.
Oh,
And
wow.
then it was off to the races after that, and got a huge head start on everyone else. Probably a couple of years and a head start over everyone else, at least 2 to 3 years.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't
Yeah.
know that part of your story. That's really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So then you got
you
got
started
out at
Sarah?
some point.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you
I got
at
out.
some point.
I got out in late 2012.
Okay.
I decided that I needed to take some time off and regroup. I didn't think I was going to ever get back in the industry, but as soon as I got out of it, I started thinking about sharing what I've done. I was very fortunate to build, a really profitable business that was making tons and tons of money. Even the guys that I partnered with during this the startup of this
The PE.
PE firms coming into this thing. Even back then, we, like I said earlier, we just didn't have a real plan, but we thought we could pull it off. So I left then, knowing that I didn't want to get back in the business. I'd already built the best business, right? In my mind, I built the best one.
Yeah.
And they had looked at over 300 other companies, not in our space, just any kind of company.
Uh-huh.
And they bought several companies through looking at these companies, and they told me that they'd never seen a company make as much money as our company did.
Wow.
No matter what kind of industry.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. I was out there doing my thing and thinking I wasn't doing well enough, and so I had aspirations to continue to keep doing this. And for 5 years in a row, we doubled. We grew our gross margins, our gross profits, while we were growing by double digits. And that's a pretty hard thing to do, because growth costs money. It costs a lot of money to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going to talk about today. Is I actually grew this business so rapidly and so profitably because of memberships. And when I have a customer paying me to do business with them, then I've got a successful business. And we had built, we had thousands of members when we sold the company, and we had thousands of air conditioners under contract, if you will, under a membership. And the membership base would grow it was growing really fast. And that right there gave us locked in sales every year. So if you have 10,000 air conditioners, and 8% fail a year, that's 800 systems that would fail a year. 8% is 12 years, right? And so every year you get 8% of that membership base that would have a failed air conditioner, and you had the first opportunity to sell it.
So, Billy, with that being said, is it, is it the membership that is key, or is it the money you make off of a membership visit? Okay, so let me explain what my question, is it basically, can I give, is there value in the membership if I'm just giving it away? Like if it's $0 and they get like a 5% discount no matter what, but they're still quote unquote a member, is that valuable? Or do we need to have like a $199 per year membership, and that's where the value's at?
The value is you have to charge something.
Okay.
If you give it away, it's a gimmick.
Okay. All right.
Right. That's just the way.
So are you looking at that more like a break even or loss leader almost even at that point?
I'm looking at it as how do I collect members? I don't look at it as a loss leader. I look at it, how do I collect more members that are dedicated to my company, who become fans of my company and tell other people about my company.
Okay.
And so to do this, you start a membership program. These people become loyal and they start paying you an annual fee. We only charge $99 a year. That's what we charged. And we presented it on every service call, whether they had a membership already or not. We always showed the member savings. So with that $99, you would get 15% off the regular price or the non-member price. Now, let me clarify something real quick. 15% off is not really what's happening here. We build a margin into our costs, and we know we need to make X margin. That is the membership price. The non-member price is a 15% penalty price. So you never discount, even though you display every job as a discount.
Absolutely.
That's a great
I love
point.
that. Yeah.
That is often forgotten when people build these. They don't build the extra in their price, if you will, to discount. So when they do these discounts, they're like at break even instead of they're still profitable with their discount.
Right. When most companies are making 6 to 8% and they're discounting 15%, what's the net? I mean, that's a negative number.
Yeah,
that's not a great number. And so, you can't ever discount what the price should be for you to make the profit that you want to make. Therefore, you create a non-member price that is higher than the price you need to charge. And it's just a penalty for not joining our club, right?
Yeah.
And so we have our members versus all the other software that's out there we have about a 4,000% increase in membership sales once they get on Sera.
Wow.
And I just want to repeat that, a 4,000% increase in membership.
I've seen people. I've seen some people do screenshots, like the little whatever dashboard and stuff you guys have, and they're like, it's so easy to get memberships, and that's obviously what I'm assuming a lot of people that are tuning in are going to want to stuff like that. They're going to want to see, because memberships can be building those in other software solutions are not the easiest thing in the world. I've done it myself. I know Tersh has done it. Like it's not super simple. So, and I know simplicity is kind of what you guys had in mind, which kind of brings us to the point, I guess, of why you decided to build Sera, and then we can get maybe into the demo.
Yeah,
Sure. And I decided to build Sera because I'm a creator of things, and I really created a really good company back in the 90s and early 2000s. And I did not share this information with anyone. I was on a mission. My mission was to be the best, not the biggest. I never wanted to be the biggest in Dallas-Fort Worth. I wanted to be the most profitable, and we were by far. And it's eventually, our small company acquired the largest company in Dallas-Fort Worth, right?
Oh, that's what's up.
So that's because we had the money, right? The money is what makes the difference. And everyone has this money available to them inside their financials. And Sera really helps you bring that money down to the bottom line instead of being wasted with all these redundant cost procedures that we do every day. The complexity that we have built into our companies, it seems like the longer we own them, the more complex we make them. And I mean, I've seen pay systems that require, the department managers spend 2 days a week just trying to figure out the payroll for their guys, and then they pass it over to the payroll department, and they're scrambling just to get it in there by Friday. And everybody's hair on fire just to be paid. And so we have a patent pending pay system that definitely takes all that away. So I can immediately give you 2 days back of your department managers. They can have 2 days
There you go.
back of their life.
I mean, that right there should about pay for itself.
Oh, it pays for itself immensely. And now these guys can start working on what's really important. And that's helping your guys close calls and get your average tickets up, stuff like that, instead of dealing with payroll. And inside of Sera, the other big problem is, we had email back in the day, and we used email for everything. And if you really think about it, when email first came out, it was Facebook. It was how we all connected,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
And so what's happened is we created all these inner office emails that flood everybody's inbox every day, and creating all this, all this information that maybe you only need to see 2% of it, but you're in all these different groups. And you're getting, 100 emails a day within the company. Well, the way when we thought about Sera was, how do we get rid of that? And so we've eliminated this email chain. We've eliminated the way you should really go to business, because every software out there today is built on the same premise that was started 100 years ago, where the dispatcher is the leader of the company, where the dispatcher runs the company.
Basically, it's your service manager.
All the information.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And Sera says we can't ever scale the way we should be able to scale if that's the way we're going to run our businesses, with a dispatcher-centric business where one person has all the information and runs every aspect of the business in a way. I mean, and so what we do, we unleash this potential. These dispatchers are very unique people. They can multitask like no one else. So if we eliminate 80-90% of what they have to think about every day and turn them loose on revenue generating jobs, oh my gosh, you're going to see immediate effect. And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you a financial statement from one of our customers and what had happened to them when they moved from one software over to ours, and show you how it makes a difference in a day. Literally the day you start, things start changing.
Well, that's what I want to see. I'm ready to see.
Tersh like, how do we make more money, baby?
Let's see how we make some money here. Like that's
Absolutely.
I know that's what people are watching.
He's got Well, and he's got a lot more podcast stuff to buy. He was showing me his wish list the other day. So.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. My
Yeah, I
wife's
have some
like,
stuff I
my
want.
wife saw it. She showed it to me, and she goes, "You think we should help him out some?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I don't know. I thought maybe we'd go to Bed Bath and Beyond, not to this thing."
That's what's up. That's hilarious.
Right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So do you want to start sharing the presentation you have?
Sure. So I have a short video, some testimonials from some customers of ours, and then we'll get right into it right after that.
Okay.
Oh, is there sound? I'm not hearing anything.
It might be on the computer.
Oh, Billy, can you share the sound on that? Is it?
You may have to turn on something on your computer.
Let's see here. It's probably in the
sound
share
problem.
settings. It's probably in the share settings on there.
All right. Let me.
Oh, whenever you click your share screen, I got at the bottom. There's a little box there that that says share audio. So click down at the bottom of our screen, share screen.
Yeah. I've got a stop sharing button that's live now.
Yeah, click that.
Okay.
All right, now hit the share screen. Hit your share screen button. And then at the bottom of it, it'll say share audio also, like a little box at the bottom of that little black box.
All right. Share screen.
And when you're picking which screen to share,
Okay.
hit the share system audio at the bottom also.
Right here.
Otherwise, worst case, we can always, if we have a link for the video, we can always put that in the notes so people can watch it that way too.
All right, try and click on that video now, Billy.
All right.
Whoops.
Working?
No, we're not hearing it still.
I don't hear the sound.
Well, heck.
Well, do you have a link for this video somewhere?
Yeah, I can send it to you guys. All right. Well, we'll pass
Okay.
that. We'll pass this up. We'll go to the next thing. All right. So let's go into this right here. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you perfect.
All right, good. I'll make sure I'm still live here. All right, so what we have here is on the left-hand side, we have our competitors, which are, basically all the other softwares. And this isn't really about software. This is just about the anatomy of a service call. This doesn't have anything to do with anyone's software. This is just the reality of the work that it takes to actually run one service call. It's not a comparison. It's just, guys, this is what it takes every day.
Oh, yeah.
Every day, right? And so what
that's
we
our
started out
workflow.
doing,
That's our normal workflow every day.
that's your normal workflow when you get a call in from some customer, right? And each time a customer calls, this workflow does not change. It continues to be the same. And so what we have here, we've numbered the amount of touches that a person in your company has for one service call. So the first touch is obviously when they receive this phone call or an online booking. And then the CSR is talking to the dispatcher about availability. Then the dispatcher is reaching out to techs to see what their job status is so they can decide whether or not they can take this call or not. And then the dispatcher sends an appointment to a tech when she's talked to several techs. Now, I just put in number 5, just reaching out to one tech, but it could be several techs trying to figure out. So all this time that this dispatcher and the CSR are tied up and these technicians are being bothered while they're running calls, Sarah's already figured all this stuff out. All right. It already knows the answers to every single one of these, 1 through 13. Okay. So in other words, instead of having someone working on all of this, your dispatcher, your CSR, your customer, your technicians, there's 4 different people here. Sarah takes care of it all. All right. And so what I mean by that is it understands what calls are available. It understands if it's an important call, whether it should take it today versus a non-important call. And it knows when guys are going to be done. It knows exactly when they're going to be done. And therefore you have availability based on that information. And so
I'm assuming this is stuff as far as like who's going to get assigned to, stuff like that. This is stuff you would set up during onboarding and settings based on your techs. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's correct. During our onboarding process. Okay. Yes, and we've introduced a pain-free onboarding process that takes 28 days, and from start to finish, and you're off and running using our software, and immediately by the time the 29th day comes, you are prepared to use the software. That's and it does. There is no learning.
It's quick.
There's no learning. There is no third parties to come in and set
hiring,
it up.
Hiring another company to come do it.
That's correct. You don't have to do any of that. This software is the source of truth, so the numbers are correct. What's on the dashboard is correct. I ran these companies. I started with one van, and then I grew a big business and was very successful at it. So I know what where these problems are, and that's the difference between our software and everyone else. Is I actually ran a company. I know where your pain is.
Can you do this all from an iPad, or does it have to be done from a laptop if you're in the field?
In the field, it's all done on iPad.
So what if you're like a smaller company and like you're the owner, but you're still like in sales or service
and the CSR
and you don't want to write things down on Notepad. You want to get started with a platform like this. Can we start out on an iPad, or do we need to have a laptop out in the van with us?
If you're a one truck person is what you're asking?
Basically one truck, two trucks, something like that.
Right. So basically you can run it, the entire thing. You can run it on an iPad, I would assume. That's a question I have never been asked. So let me find out. But
yeah, that's what we do here. We ask questions that have never been
asked. Right.
So, we try to anyways.
Right. So at this point, I'm going to say one laptop, one iPad. So
yeah,
at this point, but
that's what I do. Like whenever you see my man purse, I call it my MERS.
Mm-hmm.
It's got my iPad Pro in it, and it's got my MacBook Pro in it. And so,
but keep in mind that we can accept service calls based on the availability of that one person, and that one person only needs an iPad to know that he has another call.
Okay, so it notifies them.
Well, and if you're small and you push people to book online, you can also reduce the amount of phone calls you have, because you guys.
That's correct.
And I've installed it a couple of times. You guys have an online booking widget that comes along with your software versus being a third party that connects with your software, correct?
That's correct. Right. Yes, sir. And we drive all of our customers to your website, which increases your SEO and increases it rapidly.
I like that.
Right. So we want action on your website. We want your website to become relevant so that you can get on page one, and Billy go downstairs, and all of our other clients are, march to page one, and, in a matter of weeks, not months or a year. And so we start dominating, and we start seeing massive sales. And I'm going to show you this in a minute.
Can I ask you something real quick,
Mm-hmm.
Billy?
Yes, sir.
So Nate asked the question pertaining to what we're talking about here, and it says it looks like customers can book online. Is this a must-have or optional as to where I can allow them to see the times available, but not block times in case I have a meeting or something to that effect? Does that make sense? So we don't want to block off my availability in my personal calendar, but I want to block it off from the people viewing on the website to see that they can actually get me. Schedule an appointment with me. Does that make sense?
Right. So you'll have your own personal calendar inside Sera, and you can block off time if you need it.
Oh, okay. Well, then,
yes.
Cool.
So you would just, instead of using maybe Google Calendar, you just use Sera for work stuff.
You
like
just
you
use
have a meeting
Sera.
or something. Just use Sera.
Right. So our job here at Sera is to get rid of, is to eliminate all the interoffice emails, to get rid of spreadsheets.
Dang.
Oh, that'd be great.
Right.
So
and keep everything inside of the system, so that here's the key thing. If we kept everything inside of the system, we
Yeah.
can inform everyone in the company
Yeah.
that needs to know this
So-
information, right?
Are you saying that we basically can do away with our inter-office communication platform type stuff, like if we're using Microsoft Teams or Slack or something like that, we can do away with that and just use Sarah for that?
You can use Sera for it.
Oh, that's what's up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, Sera is designed to give you the information, and all you need to do is just log in and know, and you can know everything about anything you want to know about. You can know about just about anything.
Got a quick question for you. Nate
Sure.
had a follow up, and I'm pretty sure you guys aren't unless you're building something. But are you guys on Zapier? Do you
That's
have an
coming
API?
really. Yeah, so we've got an API with Zapier that's being developed as we speak, and it'll be very customizable, so you can get the messages wherever you want. And obviously,
Fabulous.
we'll put some in there that are, this is where we think you should have it, and this is what it should say, and then you can customize it as well.
Awesome.
Sweet. We'll stop interrupting you now.
We'll
that's
try.
No, I like the questions, because this is really what we're here. I'm going to show you some stuff in Q&A, right? Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're trying to show you that there is a better way to do this that isn't so difficult, so you can get your lives back, right? We want to get everyone's lives back. And we always hear that, Mr. Owner, Mr. Company owner, we need you to work on the business and not in it, right?
Yes.
And so our concept with Sera from the beginning is how do we get everyone in the company to work on it instead of in it, and let Sera work in it? I mean, that's really what we're doing here. We're taking the burden off of the people and giving them the information they need so that we can start making better decisions and helping them to build their businesses, streamlining their businesses so they have the money to build businesses. And even the large businesses, we've signed a couple of PE firms already, and moving off of another platform that's out there, and they see that the redundancy that is causing them pain when they buy these companies. And so what's happening is the multiples have gotten higher. So as the multiples get higher, you need to come up with better ways to get a return on your investment.
Mm-hmm.
And as high as these multiples have become, you can't rely on revenue alone to build your multiple anymore. As a PE firm, you have to figure out a way to grow this business cheaply, less money, and make it more profitable. Because at the end of the day, you're going to flip it for more EBITDA.
Yeah.
And right now, the only way to gain EBITDA is through revenue, increased revenue. And the EBITDA probably sits around the same number. You don't really ever move that number. So what we're doing is moving that EBITDA number for you.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and that leads me into like a question that I kind of have in the back of my head, and I've been asked this a couple of times too, and I've talked to people about Sera. And what we kind of hear is PE firms and bigger companies that are buying up other companies, they all want to have the platform that they're used to using. And so you need to get on that platform as soon as possible. And it sounds to me like you're already having these conversations with these PE firms and you're already becoming that platform. Is that correct? Am I correct in saying something like that?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We're moving towards that as quickly as possible because we can show them the bigger the company is, the bigger cost savings they see, and it's tremendous. And it's effective immediately. So, once we show anyone, whether you're 2 or 3 trucks or 200 or 300, it just multiplies based on your size, the improvements. All right, so basically, when we get to number 14, this is when we basically have some manual input. So we have 3 things that we do manually, and then we get back to Sera handling the rest of it. And so this allows, a really good dispatcher, a really good one, can do 7 trucks, no problem. They can probably do 10 trucks, but it's a stretch.
Yeah.
And with Sera, one person can do 30 trucks.
Wow. Yeah, that gets asked all the time too. Like, when do I need to hire another dispatcher? And I usually say like 8. Yeah, exactly. That's crazy.
Well, and
You
you
don't.
think about the knowledge a dispatcher has to have with the demographics, the geographic area, how far this city is from that city, the technician's
Yep.
knowledge levels. Like, there's so much. Like, a good dispatcher is literally worth. It's priceless. Like,
Priceless.
you can't lose them. Like,
Yeah,
you just
that's
literally can't. You got to pay them whatever you can to keep them. So hopefully, there's if any dispatchers are watching, ask for a raise.
Right. I mean, and
But it's
we're
so
fixing,
true.
right. We're not getting rid of dispatchers. We're unleashing this brain power that they have to help us grow these businesses, to get them involved in more of the revenue type things, more of the reaching back out to customers instead of putting out fires all day. Let's get rid of the fires and let's start using this incredible brain trust that we have inside our companies to help us grow these companies and use that multitasking ability that they have to actually start doing some refreshing work that it motivates them even more to be more successful.
Yeah, and James Lowell, he mentioned that dispatching is the hardest job in the company.
In the
Definitely.
world,
Yeah,
of any
it is.
job, I think it's I can't imagine it's so hard, and so we simplify that so that we can really help them come alive and help build these companies for these people, because they are very integral to that.
Yeah,
that growth.
100%. Can we? I don't know where you are in your presentation. Can we look and see how some of the dispatching?
Sure, we'll get to
streamlined?
that. Yeah, so I'm gonna get to the. Let me get through this slide here, and then we'll
Okay,
do
yeah,
a
yeah.
brief look at the dispatching and stuff. But what I really want to touch on, that's just one aspect of the many things that we do, and that's why I wanted to go through this slide. And so my next slide
Yeah.
is a P&L, simplified P&L from a company. This is a Blue Frog franchise, and I can tell you this, that the other Blue Frog franchises have not, this was their beta. They wanted to use one company to compare it to the software that all the other ones were on, and they were
Yep.
all on the same thing.
Uh-huh.
And so we took one company, called it a beta company. We took them early on, August of 20, I believe. And I apologize. I think I just realized my dates are wrong. So this right here, if you can see it, this should be 2020 and this should be 2021.
Okay,
I apologize.
Okay.
I just saw that. My bad. So what I'm showing here, they were on another software from January to the end of July. We actually took over August 17, but we're just going to, we're just on the whole month of August.
Okay.
And so if you look at this with the other software, they did 793,000, and through the end of July, and they had a fairly good, decent gross profit. And then their net operating income and bottom line net income, they were losing almost $85,000.
And that's through the busy season too.
Yes, sir. That's basically losing money, $10,000 to $11,000 a month. And they were actually having to go back to their parents and ask them for money again for the third time. And so this business was really close. And the owner's giving me the information that he's giving me the permission to talk about this.
Yeah.
And, so just so everyone knows, that video that we'll get out to you guys that Billy was going to play, that is the owner of Blue Frog talking about their experience. So we will get that out for you guys as soon as we get that from Billy.
And so they were on the verge of bankruptcy. Bottom line, just on the verge of bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a company that had struggled to get over $1 million. I think their highest sales ever were like $1.1 million something. And they were one of the top ranked Blue Frog franchises. So all the franchises were, 1.1 million or less. And the majority of them were under, I would say 95% of them were under 1 million in revenue.
Wow.
Okay. And so in the month of August, we took over. And as you can see, from August to December, we doubled the business. We did exactly just $10,000 more than they did. Right. Mm-hmm. So we were able to get him up to almost $1.6 million with only 4 months left in the year.
Wow.
And so, which was a record for him. But what happened here is we increased his gross profit. We increased, decreased his expenses. And then we were able to, what did I do? We were able to take the 84,000. We made 51,000. Excuse me, I was on the long line. We made 51,000 from August to December. So we mitigated his losses down to only $33,000. Okay. We basically cut this. This was growing. This was going to be over 100,000.
Yeah.
Easily.
And so as you can see now, before I get into the percentages, I want to show y'all that in 2021, I apologize for this. This should be 2021. So from January to June. So this is 6 months. The first 6 months, we almost did the entire amount that he did the year before. We were 250 grand short of that in the first 6 months. All right. Customers started coming to his website. His website started being optimized, being on the front page, getting more leads from, social media leads. All these things happen as you raise up on the page one. And here to the right is what his annualized amount would be. So literally grow the company by $1 million. I have checked in with him, and he's actually over 3 million now.
Oh wow!
He actually obliterated this. So
that's what's up.
And so as we go through here, you can see that gross profit went from 400 to 800,000. We doubled it. And then we ended up making in the first 6 months, $221,000 of profit in the first 6 months.
I'm talking about
on our software. So we've taken a bankrupt company, trying to borrow money again from the parents, kind of reduce that pain a little bit so they could keep going. And then the first full 6 months of the year, we got them to 221,000 for an annualized 443, which he's going to blow this away. So based on the annualization, we have 1,452% increase in profit or net income.
So that's a good number there, not the vanity number.
So for those that are math challenged, that's it's almost 25% net.
Yeah,
that's.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, I did that a little wrong. That's not quite 25%. I was looking at the wrong numbers too. It's not quite that, but it's still way better than what they had. I was basing it off the wrong number. It's 16.4, which I mean that's probably about. I mean it's quite an increase from last year.
Negative.
Yeah, and then a $1.1 million company facing bankruptcy, and the first full year on Sera, which will end here in about 20-ish days. We're talking about a $3 million company that is now, because of their success, Blue Frog is going to go into the HVAC world. And we're using this company as the beta, as I helped them build their air conditioning business for this franchise.
Now, what does Blue Frog do?
Blue Frog does plumbing and drain.
Okay. All right.
And now we're going to add HVAC, and they have sold many more franchises based off of the success of this guy here and other Blue Frog companies, and so they're selling franchises where before they were stagnant. They were losing franchises, and now they're selling them. And
so Billy, let me ask you some questions, and you may not know this information, and I don't want to get super granular, but I just want to say, like, the service area that this particular franchise is in, do you have a guesstimate about the size of, like, population wise in that area?
So this is San Antonio.
Okay, I wasn't going to ask exactly where it was at, but yeah,
that's fine. I would say 1 million, 1.5 million.
Okay,
imagine.
All right, yeah.
I'm just guessing. That's 100% guess.
We can look up San Antonio since you mentioned where it's at.
So we do have a couple questions kind of pertaining to the growth and the change in the business. Ryan asked, essentially, what else changed? So they obviously went on the software. Did they work on or change anything internally with the business to maybe go along with the software and processes, things like that?
Right. So what the software does is eliminates the hair on fire every day, so that we basically simplify the business so you can put your arms around it and start making change to make it work. Okay. And so what the software does is we use margin pricing, and we teach our customers what margin pricing is. Margin pricing is the same thing as you see here is in a gross profit. We want to set the gross profit inside of Sera, and then we help you manage this gross profit so that you can reach that goal. And so with the pricing and the price book that is embedded in Sera. We do have a price book in there, and it's no extra cost. It's included. And in there, we put margin pricing together. We don't use the term flat rate pricing and the formula that flat rate uses to come up with a price.
Uh-huh.
We use financial statements to determine what our price should be.
So what happens if you get a company that has just garbage financial statements?
I make them fix it.
Okay.
And this is a perfect example. He had garbage.
Uh-huh.
In fact, he didn't have the last 2 years.
Oh, ouch.
I made him fix it.
Okay.
And I do that in front of their accountant.
Yeah.
We have a 3-way meeting. It's between the 3 of us.
Yeah.
And I make the accountant understand that we got to get this fixed. We got to fix now. And I know you don't have any money right now, but you need to come up with some money to pay this accountant and get your books fixed.
Oof, yeah.
And once I have those financials from you, I can guide you exactly where you want to be. Our team can guide you. When we do our onboarding, we're with you every day for the 28 days, helping you set this up, getting your financials correct, getting the pricing correct, and put all the things in place that are required so that you can manage these numbers. Our software is not a placeholder, and that's what software today is. It's you just put the information in, but it doesn't do anything for you. You just have a placeholder right now, and this is actually a live breathing system that creates a way to build a profitable business and to do it quickly. It does a lot of the thinking for you. When it's set up, it really understands what we need to do, and it unleashes the power of your employees to help you build a business and get rid of the everyday hair on fire that happens.
Sweet.
Love it. This is pretty incredible.
Yeah, this is the results are speaking for themselves for sure.
And I can't take the accolades for this. I mean, you have to, if you're the business owner, if you follow instruction, this will happen. It's up to you. At the end of the day, it's up to you. And if you use the system like we set it up and like we help you do, you're going to see these results. And I can say that because I continue to see this over and over.
Gotcha. Okay. Can you do this for electrical only company too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming any home service business. I'm assuming
any home service business. It works for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
We have home theater companies. We have garage door companies. We have HVAC, plumbing, electrical, pest control, whatever. Don't have it pest control yet. We haven't even talked to those folks. Been busy. Water restoration, whatever, any kind of home service there is, this will help them. Okay. And this is where we need to help. Small business needs help. They don't need something that's going to make their job harder, or they don't need software that just doesn't do what they need. And that's where we are right now. And
that was the thing that I loved that Chris said. Anytime I ask Chris a question, and what's his role again? I forgot.
He is a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. I asked him, I was like, well, what do you do here in this situation? And what about this? And what about that? And he said, here's the thing. If it makes your life more difficult, we don't do it. If it makes your life simpler, that's what we're going to do. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. He said, if you have to add more steps to your process, hang it up. Billy's going to shoot that down all day long. If I come to him with something like that, he's going to say, nope. We got to make it simpler. So,
yep. It's what we do every day. I mean, we're always focused on taking the pain out. And I'm going to tell you right now, building something that simplifies your business is hard.
Yeah.
We've been working on Sera for several years now and just now introducing it. We created a company downstairs, we say, because we're in a 2-story building. We created a company to operate this software from day one when it was very terrible. But every day we learned from the people out in the field, and they were all bought in making this software work for them. They had come from other companies that used software that were difficult to use or didn't have any information. So we're like, what do you want? What is it going to take? And we knew the answers, but we would put it out there and then get their feedback. And that's how we developed it. And that's why we have so much success on the growth, because of the processes that are in place in the simplification.
Cool.
So
All right.
real quick,
Go ahead.
and because George is a frequent asker of questions on our
Oh, yeah.
shows, which we appreciate a lot, George.
Hey, George.
Would you consider this example the exception rather than the rule? Before I turn over to you, Billy, Tersh and I are very ingrained. We talk to business owners all the time, both friends and just acquaintances, stuff like that ask us questions. I know personally people that have switched from every software and have moved over to Sera, and I don't know their financials or anything, but they rave about the simplicity and the fact that their office staff is happier because of just the less stress that they have, all the different buttons and pushing and moving things and all the different steps they have to take to complete a job. So just from my personal experience, before I turn over to Billy, the people that I have talked to have all been very pleased with the ease of use and simplicity of the software.
Ditto.
You're correct, and like I said, this is not an exception. We are seeing this across the board, and we have a company that had just been on our software over a month, and they just called raving how happy everyone is, how many memberships they sold, what their revenue's doing, how many more jobs they're closing. In 30 days. In 30 days, they're just like, oh my gosh, this is so refreshing and so awesome.
So can we change gears and kind of go into like some, especially like the high level stuff, like memberships,
Sure.
like the technicians being able to schedule stuff, some of those things that people really,
Sure.
I think, would like to,
Right.
or dashboards or any reporting, stuff like that.
Right. So real quickly, I just want to say something. This is my formula for success: E=M3. Efficiency.
That's not what we learned in school.
No, I get it. Efficiency comes from managing the following. I mean, you have to manage the margin. You have to know what it is, and you need to achieve it, right? And that's number one. And then through memberships, you build your business through memberships off the back of your members. Right now, most of our companies our marketing budgets are dropping or staying the same while they're growing their companies because of memberships. Memberships help pay for that marketing cost. So that's what we use the money for. For every customer that gives us $99, we put that money directly into marketing so that we can go get more members. And then money, it's all about the money at the end of the day. And the money is in your financials. The money is in your business. You're just not extracting it to the bottom line. And that's what we help you do by cutting out the chaos, simplifying everybody's jobs so they can focus on revenue generating tasks. The money starts flowing to the bottom line.
Sweet.
All right. So now that talking about memberships, I'm going to show you this real quickly, and then we'll get into the actual software.
Okay.
Apologize, but setting the stage of what we do is very important.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And so this is a report from Sera, and this report says that a member, the blue is a member revenue, and then there's a non-member revenue. And keep in mind, our non-members pay 15% more.
Yeah.
So what we have here is we created, this is Billy Go's true numbers. $5 million of our $6.4 million came from our customers that are members. So they became members and they started spending more money with us, right? So they were the bulk, 2/3 of the business, or maybe a little more. And then if you look down here, this is what the average member spent with us in a year's time. This is the average member spend, $2,400 versus a non-member, $948. So the annual spend is almost 3 times more. And the reason that is membership create trust. Memberships create repeat business. It creates repeat service calls where you can go out and you can do inspections and tune-ups or whatever when you get slow. And you can schedule these in advance and keep your guys busy during the slow season. The number one, here's a couple of things that you get from gaining memberships. And I recommend you have at least 500 per million. And once you reach that number, you can think about raising the price, but I never have. I just left it the same all these years. And because I want these members to call us. And so basically we're showing you that once they're a member, they are here, they're yours, and they're going to spend money with you.
I like it.
All right. All right.
So can I quickly hammer home a point? Because I feel like, and maybe it's because I'm around marketing companies. Everyone's always talking about new leads.
Yeah.
And this is literally what I did at our last business, was continue to build. And we weren't great at building memberships at first. They've gotten better since. But existing customers should be the backbone of your business. They
Absolutely.
trust you. They're going to give you referrals, word of mouth, Facebook referrals, like better reviews. Like, these are the people you need to focus on. Stop focusing on spending $400 for that new lead on
No
pay-per-click
kidding.
when you have hundreds, and some of you guys may have thousands of people that you haven't seen in a while. So I love that you guys focus on this, because this is like right up my alley.
This
Yes, sir.
literally is what people have been preaching this to us for years, and everybody nods their head and says, yep.
But they don't do anything.
They
don't
actually
change
do
their
it.
business
Yeah.
model.
Exactly.
Well, if you're, the thing is we get taught that it should be a profit center, and that's where we lose control.
Oh,
of
the
it.
memberships.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is where it goes sideways.
Okay.
Because here's what's happening. And I see this in several businesses that have, several memberships, that have a lot. They're spending more money having someone keep up with it
Yep.
than they are actually the net after
Making off of it.
paying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And these are just a simple membership, like joining a gym. That's all it is. It's not a contract. It's to get your 15% off,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get priority service. You get 1 hour appointments through Sera. Sera can handle 1 hour appointments. Just think about it. If you started marketing in your area that you do 1 hour appointments this summer.
Oh, so it's like 1 hour arrival times or 1 hour.
1 hour appointment windows.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right. And Sera manages these the whole time. And we give back $1 for every minute we're late.
Oof.
Right.
Yeah.
And
That's
our
a cool
book,
commitment.
Talk about a brand promise.
Yeah.
Like,
Leverage.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
No
seriously, that's like the whole. Remember when pizza chains used to do delivery in 30 minutes or it's free? You guys
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah.
I love that brand promise. They probably stopped doing it because they had drivers being too late.
So far this year, we've given back about $8,900 in 12 months. $8,900. That's cheap marketing.
It's nothing.
That's cheap.
Oh yeah.
And you take a negative situation and turn it into a positive, right?
Oh yeah.
It's right. Well, immediately if they're 30 minutes late, they got a $30 discount. Well, great. That's fine. I've got it figured in, right?
Yeah.
Every customer pays a little bit of my marketing.
And the fact that you actually give those discounts becomes a marketing piece on the flip side when it comes to, is this real? Like, do they really do that? Or they'll make up some excuse. It becomes a legitimate thing where you can actually turn around and market this, or get a video testimonial from somebody that maybe you were an hour late to, gave them $60 back and turned into a happy customer.
That's correct. And the mommy blogs and the Facebook pages blow up with this information. Hey, I used this company today. They were, 1 hour appointment. And even though they were late on a 1 hour appointment, they gave me the money. For every minute they were late. And they're like, who is this again?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what our customers are experiencing. And then it just grows from there.
That's just, so Julie commented a while back in the YouTube chat about the WOW service. And that's one of our big things. And that's our target for 2022 is, putting ourselves in our clients' shoes and situation and feeling their pain points. And that's right. That just goes to the WOW service aspect of things. And that's what I really like about, I love hearing that 100%.
Well, the first thing we built when we started building Sera was actually the customer interface, because we didn't have any customers. And I told my team we would not buy a customer list and we would not buy a company. We're going to start with 0 customers on day one. And we're going to prove this happens. We needed to prove this so that when we were ready to go to market, we could show our potential clients the changes and the advantages and what happens with your company. And that's how we grew this company so quickly and so profitably. We'll be 3 years old in less than 20 days.
Yeah, that's wild, dude.
Downstairs, the Billy Go, and basically going to do a little over $7 million this year. But in the first 3 years, a combined 3-year revenue of over 15 million with 0 customers on day one. Right. And so this is what goes on. And I'm a part-time employee there. I'm not really spending all my time trying to grow this company. I'm too busy upstairs, and it's just taking off on its own.
Dang,
And
that's crazy, man.
And so we're going to get to that. So let me take you. Now then, this is Billy Go's membership program.
Okay.
I direct all of my clients to use this exact same thing. And as you can see, we have 1,738 active members and 9 former members. And this is really easy to set up. And well, no, not even 3 years. We actually introduced this program in May of last year.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
We didn't have to build it yet, right? So we had to build it.
Sure.
So
sure. So about a year and a half.
Year and a half. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a
so
year
you
and a
keep
half,
it keeps track of. So I like to think of visualize this because I'm kind of a visual person. You have a bucket of water, and like you're constantly trying to fill the water. You're trying to find different places where you can catch rainwater somewhere. And then you don't realize that you have all these holes of other like small holes that are just dumping water out just as fast as you're locating places to find other water, which is your customers. And this is actually keeping track of all of those people that are escaping out of those holes. And so that's amazing.
Yes, sir. And it's very easy to implement. It's very easy to sell these in our price book, which is all designed for you to get membership. So we had a company goal of trying to get to 2,000. We didn't quite meet it. I mean, we got 20 days left, but we typically sell 100, 150 a month, and which is awesome. That means we got 100, 150 new customers coming in that we have an opportunity to sell this. And so again, this is what the membership is, and you can easily add a new membership, or you can make this inactive. It's real simple to do any of it.
Let me ask you a question I know gets asked, and when people talk memberships, can you do monthly and annual, or just one or the other?
You can do either, however you want to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that gets asked a lot.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you can bill them monthly, you can bill them annually, quarterly, however you want to do it.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And then as far as marketing, you can just go to your membership base here, and then you can start talking to these folks in a matter of minutes. You can decide which programs, expiration date, their status. So if you want to just do the current, then you can download this and you just immediately start talking to these folks. And then you take the ones that have expired and you start talking to them about being expired. And so we make this real simple to talk to your customers. Anything that's blue.
Billy, let me ask you a question real fast. When do you consider them lost? After, because sometimes we'll get people that expire, but they don't realize it's expired. We've missed the conversation between them, and then we haven't lost them as a customer, because if something happens, they're going to call us and then we'll renew their agreement. Then are they considered lost the moment they're expired, or is there a grace period there?
We don't consider them lost until we know for a fact that they hate us, they moved, or they died.
Okay. All right. I got you.
That's me. Did they do any of these 3? Nope. Let's keep going.
Yeah, no, you did. Yeah.
Right. And so one of the things that I wanted to show you real quickly is anything that's blue inside here, Sarah, you can click on it and get there. So I don't know anything about, we'll just pick one. Let's pick Jordan here. And now I'm in Jordan's service history. So I know everything about what's going on with him. I know look how many times this guy spends money with us. He's constantly getting us out there. And, randomly pick this guy, and we have all the information. We know when he last logged in on the portal. I mean, this is the last time he went to our website.
Okay.
So he's going back to our
you
website
guys,
repeatedly.
Just so people understand, so your customers can have a login to their service history on your website. Is that right?
That is correct. Everything.
So that's another way. That's another way to get. So because we had someone ask, like, does Sera do website optimization? And I answered it just in the chat, but it's not. You guys don't do website optimization, but it's the fact that you guys continually bring people back to the website to book
That's correct.
online, to see their service history,
That's
to
right.
maybe pay an invoice. Google looks at that. That is the factor that Google really looks for, especially that repeat traffic, because that means you're a good source of information. That's
That's
why those
correct.
rankings improve over time.
And we've also set it up to where Google can see what the customer's actually doing, and they can see
Okay.
all the way through the service call. They can see that we actually got paid, so they
Okay,
actually
so
bought
you
something
actually
from us.
you have it built out so that they had Google can see all that. They can crawl all of that.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
we
That's
do
even better.
everything. We do everything in the world to make sure that we grow your SEO as quickly as possible, and we even will meet with your web people, your SEO people, we will meet with them and show them how to place our widget all throughout your website and how to do it and how to set up landing pages and therefore all
And
those things. So
if you're not using a website developer right now, there's a pretty okay guy that's like on the screen right below
Oh,
me.
pretty okay.
yep, yeah, sure enough.
I
Josh-
can
Josh-
also
Josh does a
I can
great
also
job.
I can also verify Billy's statement. They'll help you figure out exactly where this needs to go and stuff like that on the website. So they're very helpful.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're here. We're business partners with our clients. We stay with you the whole time. If you need someone, you can get a hold of someone 24/7 immediately. That's something that we wanted to do that was real important. I
Billy,
actually
will
have
you-
an open door policy as well.
Will you be able to do this once you scale up even larger? I think I get asked that question too. Like when you're bombarded with these people, because I know you've had an influx of stuff, because I've had other people call me from other places that are CRMs and ask me about this. And so you're definitely like a splash on the industry. There's a lot of people leaving other platforms to come to Sera. Will you still be able to have that relationship after the fact? Like after you've taken the market share that you would like that you desire to get.
Absolutely. So doing things like this will help keep me out there, right?
Yeah.
The whole idea is if we can help you run a business without your hair on fire, we need to be able to run the same business without our hair on fire, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like even though we scale, the personal touch will never leave. That's the way I built this business to operate, is to give you the support you need to be successful. And we have the recipe, and we just need you to apply it.
Mhm.
And by doing this, it's a partnership. We basically feel like every one of our clients is a partner, and we help them succeed because we like seeing it. I can look and see how it's going. We can discuss it. I have guys that, reach out to me. I have some guys reach out to me on a daily basis, some of them weekly, and they're just walking through it and talking through it. And then I'll take the time. I'll jump on the Zoom with them. Anybody in our team will jump on the Zoom to help. We're very dedicated to helping you succeed. We're just not going to give you something and say good luck.
Yeah. Have fun.
Right. Yeah. Here's more fire for your hair.
Right.
We're just not going to do that.
Thereof.
And again, we always, speaking of help, here it is. I mean, you just click on it and we're immediately here, and we will answer your question. You type it in. If it's not the answer that you wanted, you'll say, I'm not satisfied with this answer, and you'll get a phone call in 5 minutes.
Okay.
That's that simple. We will talk to you.
Yeah. That's what's up.
And that's just the way it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're paying for services, and
That's right.
that's one of your promises to us. So 100%.
That's right.
And we should also do the same thing for our clients.
And notes, Sera keeps notes on every move that's ever made, whether Sera made the move or a human made the move. It doesn't matter. We know every single thing that we do. It's all time stamped, date stamped. Everything that you need to know is here. So we have a call log. We have everything that you would ever need to know on this service, on this customer, to help you. And we make it easy to get to.
Yeah.
All right. And then I want to go up here real quickly to the dashboard. And this is live. This is actually Billy Go. And as you can see, we're crushing it. We're up 161% over last December.
Nice.
Our average ticket's up 39%. This is just with other improvements that we built into the software. And as we build these improvements in and simplify your life, we continue to see bigger and bigger numbers. So this is the company that has started with Sera, and we're still seeing this hockey. Look at this hockey stick that we're experiencing.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
crazy.
this is last year's total. We're already above it. I mean, we're just
Yeah.
hockey sticking right up. And so there's a good chance we'll finish the month out.
Oh, I love the way this is laid out.
200 or
Yeah.
300%.
Like, this is awesome.
Right. And this is real time information. And I get in trouble for my people when I say real time, because real time means once you do something else, it's actually live.
Yeah.
The real answer is this is live information. So if someone was to close out a ticket right now for $1,000, this would go to 380.
Okay.
Right. And then it would be all collected, and you could see it inside the jobs report and all that stuff. And you could, if someone wanted a refund and she issued a refund right now for $40, this would go to 00. So Sera is a source of truth. Our dashboard is correct. All right.
So tell me
we
this, Billy. Billy, let me ask you this question, and this doesn't pertain to Sera necessarily. You're growing like this, and the other companies that you showed example of was growing like that. At some point, you can't continue on because of potentially you can't find more employees. How is Billy Go being able to keep employees coming in the door?
Great question. So getting employees is not a problem for us.
Uh-huh.
It's really not a problem for a lot of our customers. And let me tell you why. It goes back to memberships. All right. Remember how many memberships I have? Let's just do a little math here.
1738.
1738. Now, in Dallas, Fort Worth, let's just say there's 2 air conditioners in every house, which there is at least 2. So let's call it 3,500 air conditioners, right? So we have 3,500 air conditioners, and we know that the average technician can only really do 4 a day. That's the number I get from just about anybody I ask. So we divide that 3,500 by 4. So I have 875 days is what I came up with. When I take 3,500 divided by 4, I have 875 days worth of tune-ups. All right. Now then, if I divide that by 10 techs, that's 87 days worth of tune-ups for 10 technicians. So if I have 8 technicians, I go hire 2 more when everyone else is sitting at home. I go get the best technicians in the winter.
Gotcha.
when everybody else doesn't have any work for them. You see?
Well,
and
go ahead. Sorry.
So this is how we grow Billy Go every year. We wait until the slow season, and then we make our guys are consistently busy. They are busy all year long. It's a 12-month-a-year business. There is no there is no downtime. Same way with plumbing. Plumbing usually is slow during this summer season when kids are out of school, people are traveling, right? Same thing. So we do tune-ups. So we have 1,738 possible tune-ups that we can do in plumbing.
In your memberships, does that include all the trades that you do?
Yes.
The $99 membership. That's okay. And that's one HVAC visit, one plumbing visit.
That's 2 HVAC visits, an AC tune-up in the spring and a fall tune-up in the winter, in the fall and winter.
Okay, so
and then a plumbing inspection.
Oh, and a plumbing inspection at any time during the year. At
any time.
Okay.
We manage these during the slower times. Is what we try to do them. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
And so this is not a contract to do business. This is a membership, right? And if you want to go to the gym, you go. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
And so we get customers that don't want to do it this year. So that's fine. Don't do it.
Okay. Yeah.
But the point is I've created enough work. So I still have 87 days worth of work for 10 guys, which is 3 months, right? Well, it's more than 3 months. There's 22.
It's like almost 4 months because there's usually 20 to 22 working days a month.
Right. So there's 4 months of HVAC spring tune-ups, 4 months worth of spring tune-ups, and 4 months worth of fall tune-ups. That's, if you really think about it, it's 8 months worth of work.
Yeah.
Because you go twice.
So I wanted
to
hammer on your point a little bit, because Sera also, based on the settings you put in for your technicians, will dispatch jobs based on their qualifications. So those entry level technicians, again, if you finding experienced guys is probably, it's like a unicorn right now, right? Everyone's holding on to their best guys because they can't get guys, or can't get people, I should say. And those maintenance technicians, this is a great opportunity. They have work right out of the gate. They can either work with someone, or when they get, let's say after 6, 8, 12 weeks, when they've getting really good at tune-ups, they can go out on their own and they can work on the systems that are 1 to 5 years old and work on just either selling memberships or maybe a plumbing service or whatever it is. But you have a way to keep them busy and also continue to train them. So that way you're not constantly, you don't want to send an entry-level guy on a 15-year-old system. And this is what that allows you. It kind of opens up your mind to, hey, let's hire some entry-level people who are just really good people. They have good customer service. They speak well, and let's train them. And now you can have an influx of, you can work on your training program because you don't have all these additional touch points and build a training program.
Well, Billy, can you tell me this? Like, how is everybody so successful with selling memberships? Like, because that's, I mean, honestly, that's something we struggle within our business. And like, I don't understand how 100% how a CRM can like magically make my guys sell more memberships. And it sounds magic to me. And it's very lovely idea. I'm curious how it's even possible.
Well, basically it is, has to become your mindset in your company. Number one, you have to change the mindset, right? And then once you change the mindset on what you're doing, it's all in the presentation and how we present it to a customer. And we focus our presentation on how much money they save. All right.
Okay.
We always talk about the savings. And when you're talking about, let's take, for instance, you have a $3,000 ticket. There's a $450 or $600 savings, a non-member versus a member. And for $99, would you want to save $400 or $500?
Yeah, yes. I mean, it pays for itself at that point.
It does. Yep. But the problem with not being able to get memberships off the ground is you've been trained over and over and over to make it a profit center.
That's true. Yeah.
Or the other thing I've seen is creating multiple memberships where you have, now there's more complexity, right? We start bringing in complexity.
You just start confusing the customer and the tech. And when a confused customer will say no.
Always.
Right. And we only offer one. We don't have silver, gold, platinum. We don't do all that stuff. It's unnecessary. It's simple. Just offer one. Offer it for $99 a year. Show them the value in the description. Show them the value. Follow through. Do what you're supposed to do. And those customers will go out there and tell other people about your company so that you can sell more memberships. And you need to, when you get on our service and your dispatcher's not working so hard on the dispatching, let them get into your customer base that you haven't talked to in years and start talking to those folks and tell them, hey, guess what? Look what we're doing now. We have a $99 membership and you get all this stuff free.
Okay. So tell me how is the dispatcher not running around screaming at people anymore?
Well, based on that one slide I showed you earlier, when we take a service call and we cut out 25 of the 28 processes that they have to deal with every single day on every single call. And again, this has nothing to do with anyone's software. This is the anatomy of a service call.
Yeah.
A service call is what it is. And the way we've been running our companies all these years require 28 or more touches on one service call. And that's the problem. And that's what we get rid of. And that's what we let Sera do.
So are you saying that I don't know, this is a slippery slope for me in my mind. Would you combine the CRM or CSR and dispatcher role, or are they still separate roles?
I mean, once they have their hands free to do something else, if that's what you want to do, that is perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just and the smaller companies do this, right?
Yeah, 100%. And that was like one of our biggest overhead expenses that we added this year or this past year was we split those two roles apart, and we made them stay in their lanes. Like the CSR only answered the phone, only provided the initial customer service type stuff. The dispatcher only dealt with dispatching the techs and managing the tech's time and that type of stuff. It would almost seem like it would do away with our dispatcher's role almost completely,
Well,
to the,
it doesn't get rid of the role completely.
yeah.
You only have to manage the exceptions instead of every part of it.
Good
Right?
point.
And
Good
so
point.
you still need a dispatcher. They still
Okay.
need to pay attention, but all the while, Sarah is managing the calls. It is, not a single
Yeah.
dispatcher has got any concern for how much money you're spending on gas, right?
Typically, no.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, well, that's the benefit of having Sarah do it. If Sarah has two qualified guys, one's 20 miles away and one's 3 miles away, guess who's going to get it?
Oh yeah, absolutely, all day long.
Yep.
3
Right.
miles away.
And so these are additional things that a human can't do. And this is some other ways that we save you money.
So is it going to be, I got a couple of questions here. Is it going to be better? Sorry, you know me, Bill. Like I have a million questions. Is it better for, in your opinion, now this is strictly your opinion, not industry standard or anything, monthly or annual collection of the membership?
Annual.
Okay.
I know we had this conversation in Vegas. I know where you're going.
Just curiosity. I mean, so you're good with the, I guess.
Why not just take all the money now?
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not.
Right.
That's how we do it currently. But
when it comes to remarketing, think about it like this. If you got, say, 50% of your customer base, say 50% of this 1,700 says, yes, let's do these tune-ups, and the other 50% are blowing you off, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you have your annual price, you can go, you've already prepaid for this. Why would you skip out on getting your tune-ups done when you've prepaid for this service?
So
that motivates 30 or 40% of the people that didn't want to do anything.
Right. No, I agree with that.
Right?
I think
whereas in a monthly payment,
it
doesn't give you that urgency.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, but the monthly payment is almost like the gym membership that kind of slides under the radar, where it's like,
like our Planet Fitness membership,
$8 a month, like whatever, like I'm not really worried. But in reality, we want to get in those people's houses. It's not like we want to take their money and then never do the service. We want to do the service because we want to do the home.
That's exactly right.
But then if they don't take advantage of the services, and then that come another year, it's like, hey, it's time to renew it, and they're like, we never used you last year, so let's just get our visits in. Like, how do you have that conversation versus like, I want to pay another $99? And with the membership, in your mind, you don't really keep track of when it actually renews, so you don't have that renewal conversation as much.
Correct. Yeah, I just always believe that. This is my philosophy. You guys can do it both ways. I have customers that do monthly, that do it annually. But my philosophy is you're giving a customer 12 opportunities to cancel on you. Right.
That's a good point. Yeah,
when they see it on their credit card statement. Yeah.
Yep. And
that's a good point.
In this way, we're getting the money in advance. We're using that money to go get more customers. We're taking the money and offsetting our marketing cost. I mean, think about it. 1,738 customers times $99 is, it's quite a bit of money.
179,000. I already did the math.
Yeah. So you see where I'm going here? And then,
I get it 100%.
Yeah, and you divide that by 12. So I have $14,000 a month to spend on PPC or whatever other from my members are paying for me to market on.
As long as your technicians are converting when they're out there.
Correct.
Now that's been a problem. That's been a problem for me in the past. Like when I say it, I'm an open book. Everybody knows that. Like, you listen to this podcast, you're going to hear all the things that I've screwed up on. And in the past, that's one of the things that I screwed up on, is the fact that, I had memberships that we burnt through. Like, we even got into the houses cheap by using a promotion. And then I basically am paying my guys to go have fun at somebody's house and meet new people because nothing happens.
It's gonna happen. You're gonna get 0 tickets, but you know what? You're employing these folks 12 months a year. You've built your cost. You know your costs, so you build your cost in to pay these folks to do the 1 to 5 year olds. You've 5-year-old systems, and you've built this, this program that gets you in these houses constantly. Some of these people, you got nothing to sell, and that's perfectly fine. But that's part of the service. That's part of the value. They're going to go tell someone that, hey, they actually did it for $99 and didn't sell me anything. Those are your biggest advocates.
Right.
Really? Oh, I want to use them. Right.
Well, on that dashboard you were showing us.
Oh yeah.
Gives you those numbers so that way you can see, hey, which technicians are struggling, extra training.
Yeah, let's do this real quick. So right now I've got it on revenue, and we see Carlos is number 1 in revenue.
He's the king.
Okay? He's the king. So let's just see where he lands on memberships. There he is in number 5. So I have live information on Carlos that, hey man, you're in 5th place on membership sales.
Better step it up.
We need to talk about that or whatever, right? So we know Quan's very good at it. But
and maybe
the
people in front can train your other.
When you're first starting out.
This is real live information that you can.
When you're real young, like say you have 2 techs, 3 techs in the field. Like at some point, I feel like whenever that's how many I had, it's like I'm always showing one guy loses every month, and I don't want him to beat himself up, but at the same time he just sucks at converting anything. And great person, great personality, but just not good at converting. And so like, do you see, I guess my main question is, in a larger company, I could see this being very successful, and the competition was. Do you see a major downturn in smaller companies, or?
No, not at all. I see motivation from the small companies, just like I showed you on that financial display. That was a very small, struggling company.
Okay.
And now they're a powerhouse. They're making lots of money, and so. The nice thing about Sera is it doesn't care what size your business is. If you use Sera the right way, it's going to make a huge difference.
How do we know if we're using Sera the right way? How do we know if we're using it because you're going
to start seeing this in real time and live. You're going to be seeing success here, success here, success here. And
is there a way for us to like track, like, hey, look, you're not using this to its full capacity?
We don't. I don't want to go there.
I know what Tersh is referring to.
I know. I'm not gonna. In a public setting, I'd rather not go there. But all I got to say about that is anytime you're being graded by how much of the software you're using and not being graded by how much it's helping you, then there's a problem.
You nailed it, Billy. That's all.
That was a great
information I needed.
Professional reply.
Right,
Billy, how do you know?
We're all about helping. We're all about helping you.
100%.
Not helping us.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, right. No, I'm with you there.
Yeah. All right. So.
And there was another question that I had, but I can't remember what it was now.
So let's. All
right. So let's look at the dashboard. Let's look at the dispatch real quick. That's something you guys wanted to see, and I know we're probably getting a little long on time. And I just wanted to show this real quickly. So what we have here, let me close this down a little bit. So what we have in the top in the red is unassigned jobs. And what Sera can do, it basically has made the decisions to book these calls in a certain way. So like right here, we have Jesse Leos. And Marco is going to be available after lunch. So this is held in his place. This is a toilet repair replace. And this is, if you look here above the line, the priority right there in the middle says normal. The reason it's holding this is because maybe between the time he gets done for lunch, there may be a more of a priority job that may come through. And that's why it's just holding it there. So we're gonna go do this if something really valuable doesn't come through in between that time.
But
right?
you can lock it in place if
You can lock it in place and
Okay.
it'll stay there, right? And it decides, again, we have this holding it, and up here it tells you that they're held, right? You have the Brandon Dukes here, and then you have the
Yep.
Jesse Leos there. And so what's happening here is Sarah's making a decision that of these 4 calls I have to dispatch, I'm going to have them hang out up here, and hopefully before we get late with any of these, we might get something that's a really good call that we can make more money on, and we'll just do a delay call on these lesser calls.
Now, when is it considered late? At the end of it, like at the 4 p.m.
No,
mark?
it's considered late at 1. This particular one will be considered late at 1 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
All right, because it's in that 1 hour. Started 12 to 1, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
But based on the type of job that it is, it's predicting that it is a 4-hour job, possibly.
Roger. Gotcha.
Right. And so right now we're holding it. Something just happened. Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Change this up.
Something changed up. Let's see what happened. Let's go back down the market.
That held job moved.
Yeah, it moved out. And then in fact, they gave them this one instead.
Wow.
Looky there.
Good timing.
Made a change. Yeah, made a change. So, and this was done by Sarah. I mean, we didn't do anything.
Oh, okay. So a dispatcher didn't do it.
No, dispatcher didn't do that. Sarah made that decision, and then we got to see what happened while we were just standing, watching this.
There we go.
So, and you can break it up in different departments. Like you can have plumbing techs, you can have the install department, you can have managers. You can even, if you're a tech out in the field and you need a manager, you have a situation where you need a manager to come out to the job.
Yeah.
You can book, if you can see that Jeff and George's schedule is wide open right now.
Uh-huh.
If this guy needed him, if Quan needed them, and they needed to go to this job for whatever reason, he could look at their schedule, see that they're available, and schedule them to come out and help them with that job for whatever reason, maybe help close it or whatever. So if you set up your managers to do that, or the owners or whatever, if you want someone to go out there to help them close a call, you can set up that person, whether it's a salesman or whatever, and from the tech app, they can schedule that person to come meet them.
Wow. Okay. Now, what happens if you have, like, is there a situation where that ever gets abused?
Well, if it's a situation where it ever gets abused, I guarantee you these 2 people will be talking to you about it because they don't want to be abused. They don't want to be abused, right?
Yeah.
So Billy, so a tech's in the field and sells a job. We don't have the materials on the truck, or we have to go order something and come back. I know you guys have some, it's a little different than what it normally is, because normally you would call the office would be like, okay, we got this opening to have you come back. How does that work?
So if you need to get parts, you can do several things. And we had another change. Happened so quick, it's hard to tell what happened. Anyway, what you can do in that situation, let's say you need part. Maybe you need the part delivered to you. You can go on your tech app and you can go to the warehouse guys or an install crew, or to Jeff and Adam, George here in this case. And you can have someone bring that part to you, or you can roll that call and reschedule yourself to that call based on the information that you got on when that part's going to be available. Let's say it's just not there. We don't have it.
Yeah.
And you get an ETA on it. You can roll that call to yourself for your next available opening based on the information you received. And you can do that, or you can, if you sell something, you can look at the installer's calendar. They have their own calendars, and you click on installers and you can see the availability. You can book you can book that install right there in front of the customer. You don't call the office. You don't do anything, because Sarah knows the availability of everyone's day. And if you need you
don't have to rely on the dispatcher to do this and make the judgment call.
You do not have to rely on the dispatcher to make that decision.
Huh.
You can,
now, is there a situation where it's okay? So what about truck stock stuff? Like, so say they have to reschedule because they don't have a capacitor, and it's like, well, capacitor is a truck stock item. Why don't you have it on your truck? Like, what do you do in that scenario? Like, is that like an internal conversation or?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a problem. So
Yeah. No, I agree.
we have a very unique way of handling that. Everyone has their own personal warehouse. It's one of the
Okay.
ways we do that. And
Trish, isn't that how you're set up too?
Yeah, that's exactly how mine's set up.
right. And so we can keep up with truck stop based on that. As you sell things, we know that your truck stop has been, through the tasks that you sell, we know that you've used these items, and these items, our guys reorder in the field.
Now, is that automatic, or do we have to rely on them to remember to reorder?
At this point, you have to rely on them.
Okay.
But
at some point, maybe.
Well, it's part of the patent that we got. It is the other part of it. We just haven't built that in here yet.
Okay.
But that is, another chapter in the patent process that we created. And so we're going to automate as much as possible. I mean, that's just what we're here to do, is to take it. And so let's look at it like this. Again, we have everyone's hair is not on fire, right? Because we have some organization, we have some simplicity, and we have some consistency. So we have time to monitor and manage our personnel because our hair is not on fire. And we can make our personnel step up their game because we have time to reinforce it. We have time to train it. We have time for them to believe in it. If the management believes in the process, now you have time to manage it. They're not doing 2 days worth of payroll, right? They are now working on getting the things done that we want our techs to do, that we want our people in the office to do.
You mentioned payroll. Is there only one way to do payroll, or can we pay performance pay? Can we pay?
You can do
hourly?
all that stuff.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay. You can do all that stuff.
And the performance pay, that's built into our price book?
The performance pay is built into the price book based on time. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like for instance, I mean, we can go in here and we can do all kinds of stuff.
And this is all integrated into QuickBooks, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are the source of truth that we put it into QuickBooks. But you can do, all kinds of stuff. We know everything about a call. We know that for example, and this, I can't mess with this in this because we're a live situation.
Don't make somebody mad downstairs. They're gonna be yelling at you.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, I hear the broomstick hitting the ceiling. That's my cue.
Yeah.
Stop it.
So
you've answered a ton of my questions anyways.
Yeah. So can we, and like I said, we're getting, as you said, you're getting long on time, but we have a couple questions. So I at least want to get through those, and then we can maybe
let's
wrap
get
it up
through
if
some
there's anything
questions
else.
and then wrap it up.
So
and we can talk about doing this again and to finish some other stuff. Yes.
This is totally changing gear. It's more like marketing attribution type stuff. But you guys have call recording, or how does that work?
So we partner with CallRail, and that integration is actually being done as we speak, and that will all be done inside of Sera here in a matter of a couple of weeks.
So will the CallRail data come into Sera then, or do you have to go to CallRail?
Yes. Right now, yes, you got to go to CallRail, but in a few weeks you do not.
Okay. Let's see. So we have a Peggy, humor the numbers girl. Under accounting, does it capture all of the numbers of the business? I don't know if you'll know exactly what all that means, but it's a little vague.
Your overhead and payables. So there's certain things like you have to attack. Okay.
It's real. There you go. Here's what we have. This is what you go through. Once it all balances out, it goes straight into QuickBooks. Real simple. Download it in. There you go. You're off and running. This is a very simple process. This is not a nightmare.
So I guess my question, to piggyback off of what she mentioned there, what Miss Peggy mentioned, so to know our margins and everything like that, you're going to have some sort of access to QuickBooks to see like our credit card expenses and those kinds of things.
Yes, sir.
So is that automated in there? Or is that a manual process, or?
That is basically one touch, one click of a button.
Okay.
Yeah. As automated as we can make it.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Still got to push the button. You still got to look at it, and then you press a button, and all this stuff goes in. Here's the actual button that you use. So very simple process. If you have any questions, you got to figure out what's going on. You can click on the customer. You can look at the actual invoice. You can look at the job, and you can look at who did it and get the information on them. So everything's available to you here. Commission, same way. There won't be any information here because we don't pay commission. We have a patent pending pay process that we use.
Oh yeah. I love that.
And so we don't do any commissions or any of that. Our pay process pays in a way that you get more techs and you reduce your labor costs at the same time. As the happier they become, the less the least amount your labor costs are.
Yeah, that's a whole nother episode. We need.
That's an episode.
That is something. That is something we should get back on and do like a part 2 type of thing, because that would be very interesting for a lot of people.
It is, and it's not a percentage mover; it's a point mover. And in other words, it doesn't move the needle 20%; it moves the needle like 5 to 10 points, which is huge. And that's the dramatic effect that you see in these P&Ls. But at the same time, the techs are even happier because it's simplified and they know what they're going to get paid.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, 2 days of the department managers dealing with the payroll, the average time a technician spends trying to make sure they don't get screwed on their payroll is about a day.
Oh, and that's perfect because Ryan asked a question similar to that. So you changed from flat rate to gross price and margin. Are you still paying techs commission, or did you change the pay structures as well? Your company changed. Yeah, this changed, but we still have the ability to pay them our old way, correct?
Oh yeah, that's what this is.
Yeah. Yep.
Go in here and do all those crazy things that people do. They keep driving up their labor costs. That's all. Yeah. Every time you add something, you're driving up your labor costs. And that's why I talked about the longer the business has been in business, the more complicated it's become, because we try to come up with things to motivate our people, and they end up at the end of the day, they end up biting us in the butt. Mm-hmm. And so we just simplified that whole process, but we do allow you to pay however you want. And by the way, I started this pay system back in 2004. All right. I've been using this pay system. This is not something new. This is something I've been using since 2004.
Have you the system, and we're going to keep it, we're going to keep this pay system kind of, we're not going to talk about it. We're not.
No, let's not get into it right now.
But have you ever had any issues with anybody ever implementing it and then getting in trouble with the Department of Labor?
Well, no, it follows the rules exactly.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to ask that because I know somebody else.
I'll be honest with you. This pay system was born out of the fact that I got turned in for not paying overtime when I was paying commission. I got 100. I was a 2.7 or $2.9 million business, just under $3 million in revenue back in 2004, 2003. I got $190,000 fine.
Oof.
With a business that was run on checkbook accounting. Basically what the checkbook said is how much money I had. Right?
Yeah.
And this was my wake up call. And I sit down with that lady, and I got a really nice lady. And I said, what? She goes, you pay more than anyone else that I've seen in this industry. However, you're doing it wrong. And she explained to me what wrong was. And these are blue collar workers. Their rules are you must pay them overtime after 40 hours or 8 hours, depending on your state. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. And you must pay them overtime. And I said, okay. And then my wheels just started turning into my head. And I said, well, what if you don't pay them the same amount every week? What if their hourly rate would actually go higher as they sold more or whatever reason? And she goes, that's perfectly fine as long as you pay time and a half over the 40 or 8 hours, right? Mm-hmm. And once we did that, it was crazy what happened. We built that table in a way that reduced the labor costs as they made more money. So they were getting the raises. We never lost anybody because someone across town gave them $1 raise. You could get a $20 raise every week if you applied yourself. Yeah. Right. And so we never had that problem anymore. And that's how. So
the only people that it would eliminate are the poor producers.
That's correct. But a poor producer that's a good tech Is that someone you should get rid of? Guy that doesn't get any callbacks, doesn't get any, but he does a great job. I mean, you got to have a mix, right? You got to have
You have to
Quality
have a
control,
board clearer
warranty.
too.
quality control, right. You got to have the mix of everyone. It's not all about sales. That's why our dashboard is not just revenue driven. It's all about the other things. That are you doing these things? Are you selling memberships? Are you doing all these other things? Right? We're not just every company has that guy that sells the most, and every company congratulates him in front of everyone constantly.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, is detrimental to culture. You should create ways that everyone has an opportunity to show what they're good at. Maybe the guy, one thing about Sera, you may have a guy that's bringing in $1 million a year, but his cost, he's not pricing things right or whatever.
Oh yeah,
and
you're losing money at $1 million.
You're
Yeah,
losing money at $1 million,
Yeah.
but you got this guy that's bringing in 400 grand, and it's 30% profit.
yeah,
These are the
exactly.
things
And-
you're going to learn.
Exactly, 100%. And that's why I said that net profit number, that's the real number, and the other number is a vanity number.
That's
it's
right.
it's great to know that number, but you really want to know that net profit number. And most people don't have a clue what the net profit number is.
That's right. So
And
we
that number
break it
doesn't
down.
get talked about either.
No, it's all about.
Oh, we did 55%
Beat
gross.
your-
Well, what does that mean? Did you
Yeah,
make any
what
money?
does that mean?
Yeah,
We're all about making money, and if you do it correctly, revenue will quickly go behind it.
yeah.
Your revenue will grow.
We had one last question from a Facebook user
Right.
here. The ability to type to do any type of estimate as far as new construction and remodel jobs, or is this
Yeah, so
just
you
service?
can build quotes on Sera and send them directly to your text through their app throughout the system. So you can build quotes on the fly if you want to do that.
Okay.
I would recommend, if you have a construction remodel side of your business, do a full demo. And that's how I was
Yes.
going to end this is
Yeah.
get a personalized demo, because obviously, as you can see from the tabs on the left, we only touch base on a few things because there's
Just
so
basically
much,
3 things.
there's much
yeah.
more, there's much more to this, but these are like the 3 most popular things people probably ask about. There's a couple more questions, but they're more like opinion based. So George and Ryan, one was about the pay scale, and then George had a rebranding. When would be the right time for Sera? I would highly recommend that you guys reach out to Billy on. Would Facebook be okay, or would you prefer email?
Yeah, Messenger's fine, or email, either way.
Okay.
It's Billy
He's very-
at Sera.tech, or you can go to my Messenger if you want, but it's Billy at Sera.tech, TECH. And
Yeah, questions
you can
like
reach
that
out
I
to
would
me. Mhm.
I would ask Billy.
Yeah, you
just
need a
because he's
full
got
demo.
he's got a lot of experience with this. I think you get a better answer individually, and you can explain your situations better.
Yeah, send your questions to me in an email, and I'll answer them right away.
Oh, George
Oh.
George is going to see you Thursday. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
George,
All right.
George, write that question down and ask him Thursday.
Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so everybody that is interested, go to Sera.tech. It's not .com, it's Sera.tech, and you
Fancy.
can fill out the form there, and we can get you a demo here pretty quickly, and show you more in depth of the things that we can do and simplify your business. But we're here to help you, and again, I appreciate everybody that's come on today to watch this.
Absolutely.
This is one of the things I'd rather just kind of talk about theory more than demo, and then have you come see a demo, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because
Well, I don't know.
Is it-
James was saying that he's open for sales. I think we had someone trying to get a job with you.
all right, tell him to email us. Sales are going crazy, so it's a no-lose
this is-
proposition.
This is
Absolutely.
fantastic. And I think the automation and bringing this stuff to the trades and the efficiencies, because I even and it was a quote from somebody who works at a different software company. Like, the trades are, even with the advancements, are so far behind e-com and some of these other industries that this is a pretty big step in that direction. But there's so much more to do. And to make things efficient with inventory, like we talked about, like there's so much more efficiencies that can come out of that stuff. So guys, again,
Billy,
if you want to do a
thank you.
demo,
Thank
Yeah.
you guys for having me on, and
100%.
look forward to the next one. You have a great show. I really enjoy spending time with you too.
Absolutely, man. I really
we
appreciate it.
enjoy it as well.
If anybody has any questions, we'll put everything in the show notes, but don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. But with that, I hope you have a wonderful and safe day. We'll see you guys later.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Service Business Mastery. Now that you are equipped with essential business advice from this impactful conversation, you are one step closer to becoming the successful owner of your dreams. If this episode has been helpful to your business journey, don't forget to subscribe to the show, leave a rating, and share it with other owners as well. Visit servicebusinessmastery.com to learn more.